Hi everyone. Oh my goodness, I need to put on my visor here. Okay, bear with me everyone as I put this guy on. That way you guys can see my face. There we go.
Yes.
Perfect.
There, that's better. Now I can hear you.
All right. Welcome to today's demo, friends. Okay, so today I wanted to talk with you about ideas for using washi tape. And I apologize ahead of time if my visor accidentally fogs up. I'm still trying to work out the details in using a visor because I don't use it very often. Okay, so last week for card class, we had used wide washi tape. And when I was talking about some of the things that you can do with wide washi tape and do with washi tape, it was really surprising to me how many people didn't know about wide washi tape or know all the things you can do with it. So I'm going to give you some ideas today, and I have this exact washi tape coming back in. It's just not here yet. So mostly these ideas are for using washi tape maybe you already have, or if you're inspired to get the wide washi tape, then know that it's on its way. All right, so washi tape is a light adhesive paper tape. Okay, all right, and I just want to make sure I'm doing all this correctly. Sorry guys, you just gotta bear with me as I'm working out my details here. I want to keep an eye on my page. It's not working the way I was hoping. Okay, that's right. Okay, so washi tape is a light adhesive paper tape. So I'm just gonna give you some quick little ideas. Here we are. All right, so let's say that you're wanting to do some watercolors. When I'm doing watercolors, I really like to use washi tape to hold my paper in place. And I know that sometimes people are like, well, what else can you do with washi tape? And so I'm going to first show you how to use it as a tool. Then I'm going to show you all the fun extra things that you can do. So I don't know if this happens to you guys, but sometimes when I'm doing watercolors, my paper gets all warped, right? Because the paper is so wet. And so washi tape, what's nice about that is you can actually tape down your watercolor paper to your surface. So then that way it doesn't go anywhere as you're painting. So, and then what you, so that way it stays nice and flat, so that way you can keep it flat while you're doing your watercolors. You can add in all your painting, your color, whatever it is you're going to do. So I'm going to start out with some quick little watercolor. Just a little bit. Okay. Whenever I do watercolors, I always spritz my watercolors down ahead of time, so that way they're nice and wet and ready to go. And then you can take your water brush, and we can just go in, and I'm just going to do like a really quick kind of a wash back here. But the idea with this is that you can go right up to the very edge, which is great. Probably should have grabbed a larger paintbrush, but that's okay. So you can go right up to the very edge, and then maybe I'm going to get some purple in here, which adds some fun colors. And then let's say that you're like really want to do some fun lettering, like right in the middle here. So you can actually take another piece of washi tape and you can mask off a little area. And then we'll go right up to the edge with that. You guys can hear my music. Those of you watching live can probably hear the music in the background. But see a little ambiance, a little background music. Okay. And then I'm going to go into my red, just continue my rainbow here. Go into the orange. There we go. Mix a little bit of red and orange together here. Put my in-between color. What's so nice about this craft mat is if I can mix colors out here and I can actually see the color I'm working with, which is really, really nice. It's just very convenient.
Do you have those in hand?
I will be, they're going to be coming back in. They are not a cheap mat. They are a $40 mat. But what I love about it is you have your little palette here.
Yes, yes.
So if you do decide to mix watercolors or take your color burst, or you have inks, you can organize them by color. And then if they dry, like with just like because of the air, and it's watercolor, you can just add a little bit of water and reactivate it, which is really, really nice.
Great.
It's just, it's a wonderful mat. I really, really like it. I had another customer get one. And I was like, I think I need that in my life. It's just very, very nice. Personally, I actually own about 4 of the craft mats, the silicone craft mats, and a variety of colors. Let's see. No, I own 2 blue ones, a gray one, a pink one, and a white one. So I actually own 5. Yeah, but they're just really, really wonderful. Okay, so if you're having a lot of moisture on your watercolor background, you can also, like, as it dries, for the most part, you can actually take something flat and heavy and put it on the surface just to make sure that it stays totally flat. But what's really nice about this, as we peel away the washi tape, one, we've blocked off an area where we can do some fun lettering, but you also get the frame, which is so nice.
Very
nice. And it's just so crisp and really, really wonderful. And it just makes it so then it looks a little bit more complete, but it also gives you a guide. If you do want to cut it off and remount it, you could certainly do that, but that way you're not going all the way to the edge and then it's leaking under, and under your washi tape you can just get that nice crisp edge, which is just so wonderful. And since I'm working with my watercolors anyway, we'll just go back in here and I'm just going to do some fun lettering, and we'll say we'll do a little birthday situation here, because I'm always needing birthday cards. I don't know about you guys. Birthday wishes. And then we can do some little dotting here. But it just makes it, we've got to have an exclamation point. But it just makes it look a little bit more fun, and again, a little bit more complete. So then you can mount that right onto a card, and what's nice about the rainbow is you can pick whatever color you want for matching on your card. So I thought that was really fun. Again, this is kind of just a quick little watercolor, but I thought that was really sweet. So now I'm going to use my die cut machine. So now we're going back to the wide washi tape that I was talking about. So I'm just going to take, I need some scissors. Hey Jay, can you bring me some scissors, please? Alright. I'm going to take a piece of my wide washi tape here and just lay that right on a piece of paper. So this is just really inexpensive, cheapo cardstock. It's just a little piece I have like laying around, so it's not like our fancy one. Thank you very much for the scissors. I appreciate that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this out, and then we can do die cutting from it. Got my die cutting kit. All right. Lay this on here. And let's see what die cut I would like to use for this. I think for this first one, this is one of my favorite die cut sets. It's the deer set. Yes. It's such a nice one. Oh, nice. It's so good. The deer on this, in my opinion, looks the most realistic. It's one of my favorites. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to die cut this out. And we're going to come back to this in just a moment. And then I'm going to piece of watercolor paper here. Alright, so what we've done here is that we obviously have our reverse piece, which we could use for something else, which we'll get there. But then we also have this piece. Now, you have to kind of peel this away, because remember, washi tape is a light adhesive paper tape. You can actually, you can pull this apart. It'll just take a moment to get it started, of course. Come on. I know this will work, because I've done it lots of times.
The machine pressed it down nicely.
It did, yes. It fully adhered it. That is exactly what's going on here. No, come on. I know that you will peel away. I was like, you can make your own sticker. But you can, but you got to be able to peel that. There we go. And you'll be able to get it started.
You need a little pointed stylus. I use those.
Yes, a little pointed stylus. That would probably work ideally.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. All right, so now we can just take that and we're going to peel that right off of the front of this. Going to be deer shaped. Let's see if I can get all the sticky and everything. Oh, I was so close. Let's see what we can stick down. And then we can stick this guy down here on the bottom. And part of that is not going to stick as well as I'd like, but we're going to at least try here. Okay, and a little base. Just needed to temporarily stick in place here. Alright, it's not the most perfect thing, but you get the idea. washi tape all wants to stick to itself. There we go. I knew I could get it eventually. Okay, all right. Now I'm going to take my blending brushes and my Distress Oxide Black Soot Ink. I'm going to go around this here. I'm just going to lay on a nice amount of color. And so this is acting as a mask. But what's nice about the washi tape, and of course mine's peeling up just a little bit, but it's going to stay in place so that way you can do your art all around it, and it's not going to land behind your masked off die cut image. Okay. Black across the entire thing. Now normally I would have taped this down, but I want to do more techniques, so I'm not going to tape it down today, or not for this very specific technique. I'm just going to do this, use my blending brushes, go right over that washi tape. All right, so I kind of want to do kind of like a night scene. So now I'm going to use my spray box here. Because I really love using Oxide inks on black paper because, again, there's so much you can do with it. It's so cool. All right. And I definitely have a glove in here because Oxide spray inks tend to get messy. Oh, I'm seeing that it leaked onto my glove even. That's fun. I get some purple in there. I just add in some yellow. Oh, my hands are just going to be messy today. I'm just going to go with it. And what you end up with the Oxide spray inks is they show up on black paper, so you're going to get a little bit of kind of just some different kind of colors. And I'm just going to pick a few different ones here, just to make the sky kind of galaxy looking. And then I'm going to go. Now I'm going to take this out here. Whew, my hand is very messy. All right, so this is bleed proof white, and it's one of my products that I love to use the most when I'm doing galaxies. It's called bleed proof white, yeah. And so what I'm going to use is I'm just going to take a small bit of this out of here with a brush. And I'm going to put it in my little cup here with a little bit of water. So this is just watering it down just slightly. And then on my paper here, wish this was just a touch more flat. Maybe I can use washi tape just to hold that in place temporarily. Just to keep this more flat just a moment. Oh, it's not very sticky anymore. There we go. This I know will be sticky now. Just to keep that somewhat flat. Okay. I'm going to take my bleed proof white and I'm just going to tap it on here. And it's called bleed proof white because once it dries, it's not going to pick up any color from underneath or anything. You can see my background is still a little bit wet, so my inks are just bleeding out just ever so slightly. So I'm just going to dab those dry really fast, just so I can get some more fine point stars here. There we go. Okay. All right. So not as pretty as this galaxy, but we're just creating. It's okay. All right. So then we'll peel away our background pieces. We'll peel away our deer here, and then you get that really cool, very vibrant deer, and then kind of an interesting, kind of a darker background. So you can use your washi tape as like a little mask for doing techniques and things. Okay. All right. So kind of an interesting, kind of an idea. All right, now I'm going to clean up my little station here because I can tell I'm getting ink all over the place. Okay. Back to all of this later. All right.
It cleans up nice.
I know, yeah, this stamp cleaner is really the best. And for any art mediums, it's just really, really wonderful. Okay, so now we had talked about your little deer here. So I'm going to go ahead and just trim this down to size here just to cut off any of these ripped sections here. Okay, and I have a little bit of this hanging off of the edge, which is actually perfect for me. So then that way I can just go ahead and peel that off and stick it on something else. So in this case, I'm going to actually mount that onto the mirror coat. This is copper mirror card, you know, but any mirror card you could use, or holographic paper. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel this off. Oh, it's just sticking so well.
It is.
Because of my, because of the die cut machine, it just really adhered to that. So that's okay. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, ideally I really want to just peel this off, but let's see if I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to do that, because the washi tape is just so bonded to the paper. Well, that's definitely one way to laminate it to a piece of paper, is through their die cut machine. If you're having problems with washi tape sticking, that's definitely going to be...
A little glue and run it through it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, all right. In that case, I'm going to go ahead and just stick this right on. So normally I would just peel and stick that, but it's just so adhered so well. All right, not a problem. Oh, goodness. Jay! Yeah? Can you please bring me my double-sided tape and also the deluxe adhesive, the glue? Thank you. All right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to mount that right on here. And I love that you get that holographic look for the deer right behind it, which is just really beautiful.
I heard you say double-sided tape, but I didn't have the other one.
My glue. Thank you. Just using 2-inch double-sided tape. Obviously, a normal double-sided tape roller would also be fine for applying this. Thank you very much. You said it on the face. Thank you. Alright, and I'm using my very strong double-sided tape because we are adhering to an unusual surface. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and mark that down. Anyway, so you get a nice, very fun border with your wide washi tape, but you also have your die cut.
Positive and a negative.
So, your positive and your negative. I just really love that. I just think that's really beautiful, really striking.
Yes.
Okay, alright, on to my next one. Okay, so then, now we can get into some of the more interesting kind of fun stuff. Alright, so I have my background piece here. I'm actually going to cut these up a couple different ones. Alright, my lines are not perfectly straight, but that is a-okay. Alright, so now I'm going to take my wide washi tape again. I want to get a full sheet of this. I'm going to stick this here to use for later. This is oftentimes what my creative space at home looks like. Slightly chaotic, lots of color.
You're doing so much all at once.
I'm always doing so much all at once. I'm like, oh, I'm working on this, I'm working on this. Yeah, that's just the way that my mind works. I'm just getting very excited about something and say, never mind, I have all these projects on my table, but instead, let's drop everything and work on something new. That's a very classic Ellie.
It's the fairy brain.
It's the fairy brain, yes, I completely 100% agree. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to lay this down across here. So I'm going to get 2 sheets on here at the same time. Oh, get that off of there. That's okay. And because it is a light adhesive, you can actually peel this away and then re-stick it in case you're getting some of the wrinkles in there. Just reapply that. Okay. I'm going to come back to that one shortly. I'm take my scissors here and just trim this off. Okay. And we'll trim this guy.
Save the scraps because they're useful.
Exactly. And it's just really nice quality washi tape. So we'll come back and we'll use that a little bit later. All right, so now I'm going to get out one of my embossing folders. So this embossing folder just has some fun swirls on it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay that in there and run it through my die cut machine. I know! I was so excited. I was like, oh, there's so much you can do with that. I love it when I come up with something or I see something I hadn't even thought of before. It just makes me very happy. Okay. All right, we'll lay that on there and then we're going to roll it through. So in. Oh my gosh, look how cool that is. It's all raised up, so you get that really incredible texture in it. Hold on just a second, I'm going to show you people up here. Look how cool that is. It's just your washi tape that's just been embossed.
Yes.
So you go ahead and look at that a little bit closer. But now I'm going to do that again, because I have other ideas for how I'm going to do that. Isn't that neat?
Yes.
Oh, I just thought that was so cool.
The
Because
interesting
then,
color in the corner is like a
yeah, it's like with the nebula. Yes.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing?
light
Yeah.
source.
I love that. Absolutely love that.
Neat.
Okay, all right. So now we're going to take this guy. I'm just going to trim him down here, especially because I ripped off that edge. Okay, now I'm going to do that same thing again. Except this time, I have another idea. Okay. All right, so now what you can do is, oh, Linda, would you do me a favor, if you're able to, and plug this in an empty plug-in that's on that power strip right there? You're able to get to that okay?
There you go.
Perfect. Oh, are you all right?
Yep, fine.
Okay, great. Perfect. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do some heat embossing. So I came across this technique and I was very, very intrigued by this. So I had done some, so this one, this is where the swirls are raised up. This one, the swirls are actually debossed. They're actually pressed in, okay? So I'm going to take my Versamark ink pad, which is a clear ink pad. I'm just going to brush it right across the top of the washi tape. Now, when I taught my last card making class, I was sharing that you can do heat embossing on top of washi tape, which I just think is the coolest thing ever.
I never thought of it.
I know. I had never thought of it either. I just thought that was very, very cool. So I'm going to use this embossing powder. It's called Blue Magic, which is a glittery embossing powder. So I'm just going to, it's glittery. It's just amazing. I mean, it looks like, it just looks so much fun. So what I have done, when I brush that across, the embossing powder is going to stick to all the raised up areas. Okay. I'm just going to flick off any excess here that might be hanging out. And I'm going to take my heat gun and heat emboss it.
That's an embossing powder with glitter.
So then it's just going to create this really interesting background that has this color of the galaxy behind it, but then it's also been embossed, then it's also been heat embossed. It's like, what all can we do to one piece of paper here?
Yes.
We're going to get a full melting. It does take a moment.
It changes when it heats.
Yeah, it's starting to change a little bit. It's so magical and glittery. Okay, all right. I know, isn't it just so fun looking? So as you catch the light, you can see that it's been embossed just ever so slightly, but it's just really, really cool looking. So I'll pass that over to you guys. You guys can take a look at that.
Is that pretty? Wow.
Isn't that so much fun?
Goodness gracious.
I know. I'm just like loving it.
Yeah. Well, that is a pretty.
Yeah, it's
So it's
very,
not just a glitter, it's an embossing powder with glitter in it.
Yes.
I don't think I have that. I've got quite a few of them.
Yeah, I love embossing powder that has the glitter in it. It
Lots
just,
of embossing
like I said, it just looks like way more magical. It makes me very, very happy. Okay, so now I'm going to do something very similar. We're going to go in with a different color.
Alright. See, this is debossed, pushed in. This
Yes,
is
it's been debossed versus embossed.
Oh. See, that's the debossed side now. This is
Alright,
ready.
so I'm going
This
to go
is
ahead
ready.
and stick this on again.
And that's sunk in.
Okay. Once again, I'm going to trim this down.
Yeah. I love that washi tape.
I do too. Oh my gosh, I really like the Galaxy washi tape. The white washi tapes are really nice because you can make it just a really quick background. Just like how I've done here, I've just laid it on a piece of cardstock. You can lay it on the front of a card and then you just have, it's full, you get the full adherence, then you can do more stuff on top of it, okay? So I'm going to do one more technique with the same idea, but I'm going to leave it raised up this time. So on your embossing folder, you have the raised up side, and then you have the embossed side. So we want this to be embossed, want this to be the raised up side. Okay. All right, so now that we have the raised up side showing, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to brush this on just very, very lightly. So it just catches just the very top layer. And it might not even catch all of them, and I'm okay with that. All right, and then where'd my embossing tray go? Oh, we're going to do this on a piece of white paper instead. All right, so now I'm going to do white embossing powder on top of my galaxy. And I am very excited about this technique, because you can already see what's going to happen here. Oh my gosh. I'm very thrilled. But once you start thinking outside the box a little bit, like it's like, what else can you do? And you can see it almost has this kind of distressed kind of look to it that is just very exquisite. I'm just absolutely over the moon about it. So then this would be a great technique if you like your washi tape and you want to do more stuff with it. Isn't that fascinating? All right, so you guys can see up there how cool that looks. So you get this like touch of a galaxy right behind it. You get that really beautiful white. And I'm just thinking, if you have other embossing folders, here, I'll pass that to you guys. If you have other embossing folders and that you've done, you can just take your ink pad, brush it across the top, and then apply embossing powder. Like, why not giving it that even more dimension? It's just bringing that up to the next level. I just thought that was
Even
very,
to use
very
that
fun.
white on embossed white would just be a fascinating effect, wouldn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Yes,
It would just
definitely.
have a raised up.
Yeah, the white on white. Yeah, I don't see why not. That would be very, very cool.
Yeah, it would be a texture on top of it.
Yeah, a texture on top of the color. Yeah. Okay. So now I have all of my extra pieces over here.
This is wonderful.
Yeah, I thought it was very, very fun. Okay, so now I'm going to just kind of continue on this vein of exploration here. There's so much of this wide washi tape in a roll. It's just amazing how much you get. I'm always just very, very impressed. And sometimes, especially when I've ripped off sections of this, sometimes it takes a moment to get it to all come off all at once. But we'll get there. There we go.
Oh, you got a pretty rainbow.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that beautiful? That's actually one of the biggest reasons why I got this washi tape. I was like, I love that color. That is a very Ellie color. All right. Okay, so when I taught my last card making class, we did this technique, but I just wanted to share this with you because it's also very cool. So just along that same idea with doing heat embossing. So of course you could take your any of your stamps and just do a quick little stamp and then heat emboss on it, because we already know you can do heat embossing. But you can also take your Oxide inks. So as I love to use my Oxide inks with my blending brushes, so then you can take your stencil, lay this on the top.
And that stencil is like that embossing.
Yes, it's much like the embossing. I just really like this this color, this design and pattern, because you can use it for so many different things. It's really nice. So I'm going to pick up quite a bit of color here for my Distress Oxide ink. Now, Distress ink does dry quickly, where Distress Oxide ink you have more time to move. And on the washi tape, neither inks are going to dry, okay? But what's nice about the Oxide ink, they stay wet, yep. So with the Oxide ink, what's nice is that you can actually, because they do show up on black paper, you can actually see where your color is being laid down. So we're just going to brush this across the entire thing here. And then you can see there's just, it's very faint, but you can actually see it sitting up on top of the surface, so you know you've actually applied it on there. And because the ink is wet still, you can go in and do heat embossing. And I'm just picking another piece of paper out here to do, this time I'm going to do gold, because I really love the gold on the galaxy background. It is just, it's really striking. It's very beautiful. Okay. All right. I'm just going to tuck this to the side for just a moment. Don't spill on me. All right, now we're going to heat emboss it. And we get this beautiful gold on the galaxy background. Oh my gosh, it is stunning. Which makes it means that you can use any stencil to do heat embossing on your washi tape. Yeah, it's just really, really gorgeous. Exactly. You do embossing, do stenciling, yep, all of the things, all the things. All right, so isn't that just beautiful? Oh my gosh, I just love that. Absolutely love it. It's just such a stunning appearance.
Which gold was that you were using? It is
which what?
Gold.
It's detail. It's just called detail gold. It's an embossing powder.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's really, really gorgeous. Just absolutely one of my favorites.
Look at that.
Okay. All right. So now let's talk about using some more little washi tape strips here. All right. There's so much washi tape to choose from. And the thing about washi tape is that it's really fun to collect, but then people always ask me like, well, what else can you do with it? So I'm going to show you some other ideas for using it as a tool that I was telling you about, like I was telling you about earlier. So I follow a lot of lettering forums and blogs and things, online, a lot of lettering groups. And so I wanted to come up with some ideas for doing some fun lettering while using washi tape. So I'm just going to go ahead and rip a little piece here, and then on my paper here. And I'm going to go ahead and just put this right here in the middle without burning myself on the hand. That. Actually, these are your little jellyfish. This washi tape is amazing.
Okay.
It's been discontinued for a while now, but it's one of my all-time favorites. I just love it.
Over here, it could have been toadstools.
Right, it could have been toadstools, yes. So let's see, we'll come up with a fun word. Let's see which word I want to use. We'll probably go with, let's go with happy. So we'll just, so you can use this, and you can write directly on top of the washi tape if you need to, so that way you can line up your letters. So we'll just go ahead and do that. So I'm going to add the top of my A up here. H-A-P. Y. And then we'll peel this away. And then we'll go back in with a fine line. And I wish I had a ruler with me. Since I didn't grab it, I'm just going to use something random that I have on hand for my straight edge. And I know it's not perfectly straight, but that's okay. Happy. And then you can go in here, and we'll add in birthday. And then you can kind of get some fun, I don't know, that's kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah.
But you can write like part of a larger word, and then you can go in and add part of your smaller word. So it's just a different way to use washi tape in a fun way. So just more of like a simple technique versus a fancy technique, but at least it's a technique either way. All right, some more of my notes over here, some other things I wanted to do. All right. Okay, all right. So I think that one of the last things I wanted to share was we had some of this left over. And let's use a piece of paper that I have up here already. Let's see what we have. Can you tell me what time it is, Linda? Or Margot?
I'm sorry, about 12:33.
Okay, all right.
Oh, yeah, you got 25 minutes.
Okay, all right. Well, demo might end a little early because all the ideas I wanted to share pretty much have shared. But that's just the way that my life sometimes
Maybe
goes.
you can think of new ones.
Yeah, and I come up with
More.
some new ideas. What
I
else?
think-
What else?
You've shared some wonderful things.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so these are my little star die cuts. And I'm going to go ahead and lay these on here. Do some quick little die cuts from this. Alright. I was thinking about, like, oh, I want to share this, I want to share this, but I never know how long things are going to take because there's always so many things I want to share.
So fast that you get through.
I do move so quickly. Oh my gosh, yes. I don't realize how quickly I'm going until I run out of time, or until I finished and then I have all this time left.
It's okay.
That's good. Well, thank you guys for always being so patient. I'm still trying to get back into the mode of doing in-person demos, so it's been fun. All right, so we are going to see how well this works because we were seeing that with the last time doing the die cuts from this that it was adhering them too good to the washi tape. So I'm going to take out one of my layering plates here, my metal plate, in hopes that it will cut just slightly versus cutting and laminating that washi tape to the paper. So let's see what we got this time. See what we can do here. Actually, now that I think about it, I do actually have another idea I wanted to share. Okay. All right, so I have that one here, and then let's see if I have another kind of washi tape I can use in here for the rest of this. Ooh, that's some. It's not technically washi tape, but it will absolutely work for the technique that I want to do here. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay this down.
Not technically, so what is it?
It's just, they call it glitter tape, but what I have noticed is that it does peel up much like washi tape does. They just call it glitter tape, so it's just a little bit stickier.
Okay, I probably have some of that.
Yeah, it's really very, very wonderful stuff. They've also in the past have made it in a wide version, which would have been more ideal for my project for today, but that's okay. All right. Okay, so I cut those out. Now I'm going to pop those out there. And then I'm going to cut out my glitter ones out of the same shapes. Okay. All right. So now you have your little washi tape stars, which we'll use here very soon. I'll grab my die cut machine again. Go ahead and cut these guys out. So that way I get glittery stars. And you guys can probably guess what I'm going to do here, but maybe you can't guess. Maybe you're not sure, but I'm excited. Because I know what I'm doing.
We'll wait and see.
All right. Okay. All right, so now we have our piece here, and I'm actually going to put this on a piece of plain paper here.
Oh, I can see what you're going to do.
You can see the direction I'm headed in. Oh, you're suspecting.
Yep.
You know what's coming. Okay. All right. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere this in place here since I have my glue, and this is just paper on the backing. Just going to lay that down here. And then we have our little die cut stars, which we can then take and we can actually inlay into the space that's here.
Yes.
So I should be able to just peel these right off. Indeed. Now I know because I was using not the white. I was using washi tape that was not very wide. I'm going to have to peel off that second part of that. But then you can just inlay those right in there. I love the technique of inlaying things. I just think it's so cool because then you can take the different colors and then you can just inlay those. And I just think that's so much fun. Oh my gosh, I just love that so much. So of course, if you wanted to, you could just take those and just press those right in and then glue them down. What's nice about the washi tape, of course, is that you can peel those away, but it's really up to you. I just like the idea of using different types of materials and using your washi tape basically as a paper, and then just cutting those out. But like, how fun is that? I just absolutely love that so much. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue these in place just for the purposes of time. This guy there, and this guy here. When I was working at Stamp-A-Doodle, Wendy would oftentimes do that with like circles, and then she'd just shift it ever so slightly and then inlay that back in, which I always thought was really, really cool. So in that fashion, we can then do kind of adding some other fun stuff in here.
If you leave the paper on, then they're slightly raised.
Yeah, yep.
Or if you take the paper off.
If you take the paper off, yes, they're slightly, yep, they land in, which is kind of cool. All right, I'm just going to lay this down. A little piece of this here. Just want to cover this up here because it's driving me crazy. Okay, so then the other way around, you can take your other ones, and then again you can inlay your galaxy stars into your glitter background. So you kind of get two different kind of concepts from the same, or two different cards from the same kind of concept. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue that guy down. Okay. And then we'll overlay this guy.
Yes. Let me throw things at you.
It's kind of like a family of stars.
Yes, isn't that so much
standard
fun?
sizes.
Yes, I love that. All right, and I think on that note, because I've already shared so many ideas, I think I'm going to go ahead and end demo there just a little early. So, but then at least you guys have lots of ideas to take away. So, but there we have our fun little creation. I just thought that was really cool. I can just inlay the different things, and you guys can see that those are glittery. So, but there we have ideas for using washi tape. Actually, I did do a lot of ideas.
You did do a lot. I mean,
Just whip those through. But I just love this idea. I love this. Because if you have any washi tape, even if it's a little bit thinner, you could run it through your die cut machine with the embossing folder, and then you can cut out a little strip and then do some other cards with that. So, but there we have it.
Interesting.
All right. Thanks for coming to today's demo, you guys. Thanks for joining me for today's demo, friends. I'll see